Hi, this is Phil Bratton. This is my take a position speech. I'll be doing my speech on the Second Amendment, right to keep and bear arms. My audience is over here to my right, Scott, and then Terry behind the camera. Okay, here's Terry. All right, so my speech today is going to be on the Second Amendment. It's the amendment in the Constitution that speaks directly to the right for citizens to keep and bear arms. A couple things that I wanted to go over initially are, this is a very hot topic. My personal opinion, if I'm officially taking a position on the speech, is definitely that every American should have the right to bear arms, given certain controls. People that are, have committed felonies, people that are mentally not in mental capacity is diminished, should not have arms. But people that abide by the law and only desire for sport and to protect their families to bear arms, there should be no reason that they can't. One of the reasons that we got the original Second Amendment was to basically shield and guard and protect people from a tyrannical government. Gave Americans and the average citizens right to pick up arms and defend themselves against a government that had turned against them. So that was really the original reason. Now that has changed in years, right? I mean, there's lots of opponents to this saying that it's not safe for people to bear arms because of a million different reasons. There's not enough controls around who's allowed to have them, and can high-capacity magazines be used, and does that really make a difference if an automatic fires semi-automatic fashion, bolt action, or fully automatic? One of the things that Thomas Jefferson said that really spoke clearly and distinctly to this point was, the greatest danger to American freedom is a government that ignores its Constitution. We have a Constitution. The forefathers of this country put it in place to protect citizens from themselves and from their government. So one of the things that I did when I put my survey out was to try to get a feel for the different perspectives that people had on this subject. So we'll go to the beginning here. The first question was whether or not people believed in the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms to begin with. 88, nearly 90% agreed that yes, they did believe in the Second Amendment and the right. Secondly, which general political ideology? One of the things that you always hear is that gun rights and conservatives are kind of married together, and that liberals are always fighting. There may be some strong correlation between a Republican being more conservative and believing in gun rights, and a large correlation with people very liberal that are against gun rights and more proponents of gun control. But I think what you find is that it's lightly driven by that, but it's more a personal view. Here, we show conservatives align, with these responses pretty high. People are more responsible for taking their lives of others and not the weapons. This point was, do you really believe at the end of the day that it's the weapon that causes the issue or the person that's using it? And here, again, 44% suggested they strongly agreed that it was the person and not the weapons. Then you had an additional 40% that either strongly or mildly agreed. So I think, again, here we're setting precedent showing that people have support that it's not really the weapon that is the issue. I would feel comfortable if I knew my neighbors had weapons for defense. The thing that we're looking for there is essentially whether or not those people would feel better with their neighbors having protection. I think maybe some of this data, 56% stated no. I think that might have had more to do with who their neighbors are. In summation, I guess my position on this subject is, it's a constitutional right. I want to have the ability to protect my family. I fire semi-automatic rifles for sport at a range. I pose no danger to anyone, and really believed if people were more educated, knowledgeable about the use of firearms, and had the right to carry, it would actually be a pretty strong deterrent to a lot of the crimes that happen today. Whether or not we put gun controls on all kinds of different things, it's not going to stop someone who wants to get weapons from getting weapons. one closing fact, according to a 1997 survey of state prisons, they did a survey of the inmates and the felons that had weapons. How did they acquire them? Less than 2% of those got guns from gun shows or flea markets. Less than 12 got them from retail shops or pawn shops. Over 80% got them from friends, off the street, or from some illegal manner. So that really supports, this is coming from statements of people who have used them in the commission of a crime. They're telling you that more than 80% of those guns are coming from illegal sources. So any legislation and control you put over people that are already legally trying to acquire guns is not even going to affect that number. So very strong opinion for the right to bear arms and the right to control who's allowed to bear arms and purchase arms based on some logical factors about safety and mental capacity. Thanks, and thanks for watching my speech, and I will show back the guys that are still here.
Jump in there,
There's Terry, and we'll show you the two Scots. All right, thank you.